bringing you a fun-filled show tonight with a great guest. So get ready, mi gente. Now, here is your talk show host, Rico.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's your boy Rico No Suave. We back again. We back again. And we back again. I'm super happy to be back with each and every one of you guys. I hope you guys are ready for a great show because I always miss you. I miss you like always. And just like you guys miss me, I miss you back, everybody. So thank you guys so much for your continued support because we love you, man. We love you like always. Hey, don't forget, everybody, if you're here on live, make sure you please go ahead and share a like for everybody to be able to know that Rico No Suave show is here and ready to go. This is what we do, everybody. We got a lot of things going on for you guys to be able to be a part of our community, but also us building as far as when we're traveling and all of that great stuff. Yes. So thank you guys so much. We got a fun-filled packed show for you guys today. But we got to start off and talk about something about awareness, everyone. And we haven't done this in a while, but hey, we are back talking about what is the awareness for this month. Let's put that up. It is self-harm awareness. Did you know that there was an awareness for self-harm, everyone? That there's people that goes through depression. Self-harm can be, a part of suicide. Did you know that when people are actually going through a few things, it feels like they have to do self-harm in order for them to feel good? That's not a good thing for self-harm. Also, a lot of things that comes when it comes to trauma as well, too. And also mental health awareness has a lot to do with self-harm as well. So Self-Harm Awareness Month for March is where it's at right now, everybody. And if you have anybody or anyone that you know that's going through some things, please make sure you either call 911 or help them to get some help as well too. So make sure that you keep the awareness always, each and every day for your loved ones or people that you may know, or you just might see somebody that you may walk past and you might see that they're actually harming themselves. Please make sure you call authorities or call someone to be able to help them. All right, everybody. It's time. I got to introduce this lady, but I have to give a big shout out to Beverly Pomerantz, who I love very dearly. Thank you so much. In Hollywood, Beverly Pomerantz, the queen of the casting, directing. Thank you so much for introducing this young lady to us. And when I talk about this, when I talk about this young lady, I'm talking about it out of joy because you guys are going to have a great time with this one. We're going to have a lot of knowledge when it comes to, her and her journey as a professional writer, but also, we're going to be talking about some dating. She's a dating expert. She has been around Hollywood and also, I would say, probably traveled different states and being able to give dating tips and being able to help people find happiness, not just within themselves, because sometimes you have to date yourself before you start dating other people as well, but being able to give that love of tips and expert advice. I want you guys to put your hands together for none other than Jaydi Samuels Kuba. Yeah. Jaydi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very good. How's everything going with you?
Well, it's better now. I love that you introduced me as young woman before our sound of those one of those spray bottles and got rid of the grays. So it filled me with joy. So thanks for that.
Well, hey, you look nothing older than 20 over 25. You look younger than 25. You might
I'll
even
take
pass,
it.
you can pass for 22. You can pass for 22. I didn't know you did the spray thing. Now I think you told me a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. But welcome to the Young Show. We're all young here. We're all young and beautiful here, love. So welcome to the show. We're so happy to actually have you here. I'm very happy to have you here. My audience is going to be able to be able to ask questions. But hey, we got to get it on. Before we get started, though, I always like to ask my guests, do they have any shout outs that they want to give out to anyone?
Oh, I mean, my daughter's not watching right now, but she's 4. But
Let's go.
if the people watching her
Yeah.
are tuning in, then definitely, hey there, Beth, and hi to my husband, and
All
just,
right.
yeah, any clients listening.
What's your hubby's name?
Dave.
Dave?
Hmm.
What's up, Dave? Dave, we here, Dave. Make sure you comment, Dave. Show your wife some love.
Do it.
All right, let's get it on. All right, you ready to start this party or what?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. The journey of being a professional writer, right? Because, of course, TV is being part of that writer, but of course, we'll talk about you being an author as a writer as well too. But let's talk about from a TV standpoint, that professional journey. How did that all begin for you?
So my TV journey began as a screenwriting major at USC, and so I knew I wanted to write for a while. I was actually at Northwestern
Nice,
Discovery, yeah,
nice.
to Chicago. Or to Evanston. I had a roommate who I was there as like a high schooler taking college courses and fell in love with the script of The Matrix and movies, and that just blew my mind. And
Nice.
trajectory of my life, I went to USC for screenwriting. I sent my resume to different that were hiring for a writer, or not even a writer position, like a PA position, which is the entry level job on a show, and was fortunate to get hired at Family Guy. I think they liked that I played table tennis. I
Nice.
played varsity table tennis at SC, and they were like, "We have a table. You'd be like, the writers will think you're cool. You have the job." And so I got my start on Family Guy. I was there for
Wow.
8 years, and by the end, wrote the 250th episode. And my team.
So when we talk about Family Guy, which is one of my favorites of listening and watching and seeing, now that knowing that you were a part of that, the voice, the guy that does the voices itself,
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. Did you get a chance to be able to work alongside with him as well too? Of course, if you're a writer, I'm assuming that he had to review and he had to look over and also be able to approve some things, right? Because it seems like he is the guy. What was it? Were you able to work alongside with him and get to know him as well via TV?
Oh, yeah. So I was actually his assistant for 5 years. So
Wow.
he has, or had, at least when I was there, 4 assistants, and I was what they call the first assistant eventually. And so I basically got Seth MacFarlane everything from, the show itself. Show at the time, he was hosting the Oscars. He did the movie Ted. He was making music albums. I was traveling with him,
Wow.
personal side as well. So yeah, definitely two degrees in the Seth MacFarlane universe.
Wow. Wow. That's like going into like a university of Seth MacFarlane because his voice and the things that he does with his voice is amazing. I got a chance to watch him on YouTube and just being able to hear him and being able to see exactly how talented he is as well too. But you guys also need to get your flowers because to be able to make that happen and be able to work alongside with him, man, I congratulate you on that. That's amazing. And to be able to work with him on that, how did that motivate you moving forward? Because as a screenwriter, but as a professional writer, what was the ideas like, being able to become a writer? Because I'm sure there's a lot of creativity that's involved as well too. What was the creativity like phase for you just as a writer in general?
I mean, it differs from project to project. I
Yeah.
was very fortunate that he was a very generous boss in terms of his time. He let me sit in on school editing sessions. I would get to glimpse at and look through storyboards. I had so much access just being in his orbit, and so
Yeah.
learned a lot from that experience. having a degree in screenwriting from USC, I was very formally educated. So I
Yeah.
always outline before my projects, and I do the whole like cork board with the index cards. And,
Yeah.
I get very organized at the beginning before I allow myself to like full blown unleash my creativity. So I'm used to breaking stories that way. And that definitely comes from both SC and also working with Seth.
So that's awesome because you kind of have that foundation from SC, and then they say sometimes, but it's so cool that you actually at SC because that kind of puts you in the middle of this is the real world and this is the way you're supposed to actually do it, and you really had the ammunition before you really start getting into it. What were some of the things that you learned alongside, of course, them not teaching you what you didn't learn in college? What were some of the things that you've actually learned over time, besides being a creative, but also in writing when there's like attention spans or maybe what do you call them, brain farts? Yeah, brain farts or things like that when you're actually writing. What were some of the things in order for you to try to stay consistent as possible, even with different projects? What was that like?
I mean, this is no knock on formal educations or anything like that, but as much
Sure.
as I learned the 4 years at USC in like a week in the real world, it's just that was even more education, just social medium. And I think as a writer, you really pride yourself on just work is going to cut through. And with
Right.
TV, there's an element of that, but there's a social game involved that I just wasn't fully prepared for.
Mm,
I walked into an environment that, at least back in 2008 when I was graduating, there were people who, Family Guy at the time, it was, and TV in general was a very male dominated.
yeah.
I think I was sort of primed to view the women on the show as competition,
Yeah.
which in half, right? It was 50% women, 50% men were in the screenwriting program. Then you throw me into the real world, and there were 26 writers on the show, and one was a woman. And
Wow.
so, definitely learning how to sort of navigate those politics and that environment. It was really great getting that sort of education because it gave me really, really thick skin. And
Right.
every writer's room I went to after that was a breeze by comparison. But really amazing people on the show. So don't get me wrong, like the men and women who work there are really amazing people. But it was definitely a dynamic that I just wasn't fully prepared for socially that really just taught me a lot and helped me become the person I am today.
Nice. Yeah, let's go, JD. Let's go. Yeah, I'm loving this. When it comes down to being that screenwriter for TV shows, you took that journey through TV shows, right? Family Guy, of course, and other, maybe let's just say series. Did you also do any screenwritings for maybe short films or also for movies?
It's are on the TV side. There's no writer alive that hasn't also have like the spec scripts for films and things like that. And I do
Yeah,
hope to adapt the book that I just wrote as a feature one day, but all my credits are on TV. Some are animation, some are live action, some
sure.
are comedies, some are dramas. So it's definitely a wide range, but just on the television side of the industry.
That's nice. Hey, it's still good, man, because I've actually interviewed when you talk about the TV series. I actually interviewed Kate Linder from The Young and Restless, and a lot of other people that's from General Hospital as well. And I just listen to the passion that they actually have in regards to just being that actor and being able to read their scripts and being able to know that there's going to be something different every single time they step on a set in order for whatever the screenwriter did as far as say, hey, this is what's going to be for the next scene. This is going to be the next one. It's like there's always excitement, it seems like. And of course, excitement can turn into sad times as well, too, based off of what the script is about.
Sure. It's
Over the,
definitely really different with animation just
yeah,
because, so yes, I've been on shows where you have a set and it's exactly as described, but then with animation, Family Guy, for example,
yeah.
takes 9 months to make an episode. So it's almost
Wow.
the complete opposite where you just have so much time to think about just one joke. And so there's pros and cons to be able to wear multiple hats.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. I would that you just open up my eyes to be able to see when I laugh at some of the jokes on Family Guy now. I was like, man, that took them 9 months just to do that joke.
We probably
Wow.
there are they call them gag rooms. So there's the
Yeah.
main room that has like the 20 something writers in there. And then there's smaller rooms that we'll break into where we'll spend an entire day coming up with just one cutaway, right? One
Wow.
joke that it's centered on. And so it's really interesting because then that joke may like it might not be the one that sticks because we'll have a table read and enough people aren't laughing, or maybe it worked in the table read but then someone goes to record the line and it's just not landing, or
Yeah.
it gets shipped off to South Korea for storyboarding and it's just visually it's not working the way that was intended. And so there's so many opportunities to rewrite the same material, so it's a
Wow.
really fun and interesting process.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. I do want to get into the culture aspects of things because you have different cultures with different aspects, different personalities that you may have worked with. So you brought in actually Korea, right? How was it working with different cultures within the TV industry for screenwriting for yourself?
Yeah, it's interesting. I will say some of the people that I've connected with the most from a writing perspective,
Hmm.
we come from such different backgrounds. I know, I get asked sometimes like who, if I have any inspirations, writing wise or mentors or anything like
Sure.
that, and uh, guys that I ended up really connecting with the most in the industry, Carl Jones and Brian Ash from like Boondocks, Black Dynamite, that whole family. Um,
Wow.
we come from very disparate backgrounds. And I think initially people are like, wait, like you guys are chummy. Like, how did that happen? And our minds work so similarly. And that's the beauty with writing as a connector. It's just, it brings so many people together. It's, you want the best idea to win, so to speak. And I've had so many people who are on the surface like minded, but if you have a bunch of people in the same room that are all coming from the same background, I could tell
Yes.
you a little insight into my episode of Family Guy.
Sure.
Maybe this is TMI. I don't know if I'll hear from them later, but
No worries.
um, I want to be delicate in how I word this, but there were four jokes that ended up in the final episode because you turn in a writer's draft and then the whole room will sort of rewrite it together. And by the end of it, I remember saying to them, there's there's four jokes that could be extremely offensive to women that were really niche in the same episode. And I was like, did you realize that you told the same joke basically four different times? And they were like, oh my God, we didn't realize at all. Like this person
Wow.
gets assaulted in this scene and like, wait, it happens four times. Like, how am I the only person in the room that was like, did you realize we did sort of the same kind of joke four times? And it's because there just weren't at the time enough women in the room to just be tuned into that type of thing.
Wow.
And it's not that those jokes, like, I believe any sort of joke is funny depending upon the way in,
Sure.
but if you tell it four times, it sort of isn't as funny. And
Yeah.
so the one that ended up staying in the final episode, you can go watch it. It's the 250th episode with Liam Neeson, called Fighting Irish. There's only one of those types of jokes that made the final episode because I spoke up and had that conversation. But that's the beauty of having people from different backgrounds in a writer's room. You want your minds to work similarly in that you're breaking stories together, but also coming from different enough backgrounds
Yes.
that you're bringing new things to the table and able to share different cultures and experiences and perspectives.
I love that. I love that. The one thing, what I love about this is that I'm very process oriented. So when I look at something and I analyze something, there's so many different ways to look at one thing that you brought up that you're saying, hey, you realize we did the same thing, but you did it four different ways, and not everybody can actually see it that way. What you were kind of like the screenwriter, but you were more analytical to be able to see those four different things of the same exact thing, but in different ways, which I kind of makes you stand differently than what how other people really saw it, which was really good because not everybody can catch that. You know what I mean? In regards to how many different ways that somebody can look at one joke or one situation and see that it's four different ways that you put that. That's cool. Wow. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. And I have to go and take a look at it. I have to go and take a look at that now because now I'm going to be
Yeah,
looking
you'll see if
forward
you
to
can catch the one that ends up in there.
exactly. All right, man. Well, thank you for taking us on the journey. We do got some people that is tuning in. I just want to say a couple people. John T for free. Thank you so much for he said hello everyone. Donna Marie Bird is checking in as well too. We got other people that's actually checking in, but we got more to talk about because I'm super excited. We're almost hitting the halfway mark already. JD, it's almost halfway. We just got started.
This is how I feel in my date coaching sessions. I'm like, wait, I have so much more I need to impart to you. We only have like X amount of time left.
Let's get right into it before we take a quick commercial break. Thank you for telling us in regards to showing love in regards to your professional writing and the skills. And congratulations on the years on Family Guy and also other things that you actually have coming up as well from a professional writer standpoint. Let's get into the dating piece because that is, I know, the nitty gritty of what people want to hear more from how it began. Let's talk about it just doesn't happen overnight, right? Because something had to happen in order for you to become that dating expert or that dating coach. How did it get started with you to be able to say, hey, I'm going to pursue this in this industry?
I think I was always a natural connector of people, whether someone needed a roommate or a job or a love interest. Like it was just something that came very naturally to me. I was always the person that would approach a stranger at a bar because my friend thought he was cute. And it got to the point where when I reached the industry and I was an assistant at Family Guy at the time, I realized there were so many quality, grounded people in the entertainment industry that were having trouble kind of finding each other.
Sure.
There wasn't really that hub. It was missing, and I wanted to become that hub. And so I started what at the time was a side hustle. Now it's like a full-time passion, but I started just telling people, hey, for $10 a month, I'm starting this database and I'd like to set you up on dates. Nice. And I started getting tons of referrals and it snowballed from there.
Wow. Excuse me, I'm kind of choked up. You said $10 a month and everybody started coming at you.
I mean, I was providing a luxury service at a very affordable rate.
I love it. I love it. So when people were coming to you, and this happened to me too, don't get me wrong. A lot of my male friends back in the day, when I was between 21 and 28, right? And, one of the things about being able to talk to people and say, man, I don't know why this girl did this to me, but I was really feeling her. Like, I want to make sure I impress her. Right. And of course, I'm just a friend. I'm just saying, hey, well, this is what I would have done. Right. And I don't know her personality. I don't know what it was, but you would think back in the day that kind of you had that this is what women wanted in regards to being able to impress them. Right. As well. Let's take it from your standpoint. You being that woman and a guy comes to you and says, I need help. Right? I don't think I have the confidence to be able to talk to a lady or to be able to know that I'm not saying the wrong things. How did you develop for only $10 a month of people coming to you and help and build that? How did you build that confidence to be able to try and help them understand what women want or, based off of who came to you, to be able to help them make that connection?
It's a great question. I mean, I didn't have that confidence at the beginning. I wasn't even in a relationship. When I started the company, I was not with the person I'm married to today. And so I would have told, at the time, dating coaching never occurred to me. It was strictly matchmaking. And that I felt comfortable doing. Like, I know if this person's going to hit it off with that person. What I learned so much on the job. I continue to learn on the job. But that piece was a little bit easier for me to sort of fake it till I made it.
Yes.
Whereas coaching is not something you can fake. Like either you know what you're doing as a dating expert or you don't.
Right.
And I wasn't one at the beginning. And I actually was Patty Stanger, who people know as the millionaire matchmaker. I was over at her house once. We had a mutual friend introduce us, and I kind of wanted to pick her brain about the industry. And she was like, "You have to get into date coaching." And I told her my concerns and the imposter syndrome and all of that. And
Sure.
she was like, "Trust me, like you'll get there eventually. Like all matchmakers, it's something they end up considering." And it kind of went in one ear and out the other. But
Yeah.
then years later, it just got to the point where I felt like I was doing a disservice to my clients
Mm,
not to share the wisdom that I had gleaned just from the sheer act of setting up thousands of couples, hearing from this one, that one, what was working, what wasn't working. You kind of become this reluctant dating expert.
yeah.
And so when it crossed the threshold of it was actually hurting my clients not to intervene, like I knew what they were doing wrong and I was staying silent, I realized I needed to explore a coaching arm of the company.
Got you. So did you think it was kind of like, because when we have friends and we have people come to us, we talk to them like it's personal, right? We talk to them just like normal. But I guess when you have clients, you really don't know what their personality. Have you had someone come to you even when you were learning how to coach them? Because you're almost like a therapist, right? Or you're like a counselor in a way, because they might come to you like nervousness. They might have sweaty palms. They might have things that might
Sure.
have like flashbacks. How do you deal? How were you able to cope with that during a time of learning and training, as far as with people that did come to you to ask you for advice and help?
So by the time I started offering those services, I did feel very comfortable with all different types of people and had seen those types of people go on a wide range of dates and saw what was working for them and what wasn't. And so part of the beauty of coaching is I get to take people as they are. I get to play into their strengths and shape their weaknesses. And so I've
Yeah.
gotten really, really good at identifying very early on what just knowing the questions to ask, the out for people present one way to me because they want to impress me and make sure that I'm setting them up with quality people, and then they show up on a date as an entirely different person. So I've learned to
Right.
sort of read between to pick up on the nonverbal cues as well, and it's just something that takes time.
Yeah.
Even knowing what I know now, there's no way that I could have done it when I first started out. I think people just need experience, and you have to have a bit of an instinct. Love people, and you have to. I think people often wonder how I have this TV writing career and my book, and how I can also run a successful matchmaking and coaching business. But the truth is, they're very related skills.
Sure.
It's everyone
Yeah.
has a story,
Yep.
and when I'm crafting a work of fiction, I still want to make sure those characters are properly represented and I know what their motivations are and what their goals are and their traumas and just anything that's helped shape looking for today. And so that informs my writing, and I bring that same experience and perspective to working with dating clients. And it's just you have to have a love of people and really care about.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. There's so much more. There's so much more. And when I say this, like, there's so much more to talk about this, because there is a connection between your screenwriting and also to the person's journey of trying to find love, right? And I think, and this is me just visually just thinking about this now. I can picture you just writing down and then screenwriting that person's life in regards to where they're going right now, and just it's almost like you're having an episode after episode after episode every time you speak with them, and then it's just
Mhm.
like this whole like life story documentary of this person itself, and you're screenwriting that. So I think that's an amazing talent to actually have, you know, and because of what you've been through. But I think it's also really cool to be able to at least notate this, bring it to them, say, hey, well, this is who you are, this is who you and what you love to do, and now we just have to match someone else up as far as with you as well. You know, JD, we got to take a quick commercial break because we got to pay some bills around here. But hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. I see you guys in the chat. I love you guys so much. But yeah, I'll get to your questions as soon as we actually come back. It's JD Samuels, Kuba, dating expert, professional writer with your boy Rico No Suave. Everybody, we'll be back in 30 seconds. Stand by.
Every year, 800,000 children are reported missing. That's one child every 40 seconds. It's every parent's worst nightmare. Right now, there are 483 missing children cases still open. Your card donation can help keep kids safe and bring missing kids home. Donate your unwanted card today. Fast, free pickup, 24-hour response. Plus, you'll get the maximum tax deduction.
Call 800-723-2013.
Welcome back. I told you it was only going to be 30 seconds, everybody, because JD Samuel Kuba is here with us. And we're just now getting into the nitty gritty of everything. We're getting into the meat and potatoes of how dating is actually from an expert standpoint. JD, are you having a good time so far?
I'm loving it. I wish my internet connection was better, but I'm having such a good time.
No worries. No worries. Hey, we're going to get through it no matter what. We're going to get through it no matter what. All right, let's keep it going. Thank you so much, Aaron David. Yes, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for actually tuning in. And you know, that is awesome. So thank you. Yeah, I see that you actually have a question. Give me 1 second, Mr. Aaron David. He said, always an educator. Did you cover with your guest? What does she write? Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes. They're coming in late. They're on different times right now. JD. Yes, we did go over that as well too. Ron. We went over that already, sir. So we appreciate that. So make sure if you have questions, we're going to be. I'm going to go to the next question as well too for JD to answer, and everybody. Then you can start asking more questions. Yes, because I'm excited. All right. JD, because there was that level of when people do come to you and being able to counsel them, to be that therapist or counseling, right? What was it like if there was a person that was, let me take that back. You have a situation or a session with someone. How many sessions do you think a person need based off of their personality? Let's take a person that's shy, that doesn't have that much confidence. How many sessions do you think it will take for you to be able to help them build that confidence in order to them to be able to feel like, okay, I think you're ready?
So it's so hard to say. It's really a case by case basis. There's nobody that I'll take on brand new with like less than 5 sessions. I would say that's a minimum amount of time to see any sort of progress that's going to stick. If a client's been through a certain amount of trauma, it depends how much it's I try to deal with things that are more affecting their present. And if it's something I can address in the present, I'm super equipped to handle it. I'm very equipped to handle anything that's informed who they are today from their past, but I try to be cognizant of, okay, this is like more of a therapist territory as opposed to strictly dealing with. So if I feel like there's something that's past that's a block and they should also be working in conjunction with a traditional therapist, I'll sometimes refer out. But if it's something that's manifesting primarily in a way that's affecting their dating, I really enjoy those conversations and tend to have a lot of success with those clients exclusively. But the range of issues I help people with could be anything from like dating 101, been married but recently lost someone, so like with widows and widowers and how to get back out there, people who have nervous dating habits that they need a break, people who need to up their flirt game. Somebody is great in terms of getting the date, but then they show up on the date and it feels like you're out with a friend. It's really a wide range of issues. I also work with people that are incredible daters and their issues getting that second or third date. It's that they keep choosing all the wrong people to go out with. So I help people revamp their online dating profiles. And it really is such a range of issues that could stem from some trauma to someone that just needs a little bit of a boost. So the answer is it really depends.
Yeah. You brought up so many different things within that paragraph that I know that I really want to talk about, because I know time is going to fly by fast as soon as we start talking about at least one of them. But there is a really great question from Donna Marie Bird. She says, JD, when you're talking about being a dating coach, it reminds me of someone as parenting. I'm a parent, so do you feel that too? Very good question.
4-year-old, so I'm a parent as well. Some similarities, different age ranges. I am definitely not setting a 4-year-old. But no, I would say the parallels are mainly that I feel very, very connected to the people that I work with and invested in their journeys. And as a parent, you could teach your child as much as you want, but then they go off into the world. Don't. Right. And it's true with date coaching. I'm imparting what I think is great advice that's going to help somebody, but it doesn't always sink in right away. Or maybe they try something and it just didn't work for them. It's sort of that same parallel of, I would say the biggest parallel is that they'll have a session with me, but they're going to in a way that I'm not privy to, that I might hear about later. And maybe so it's similar that way. And also just in terms of the connection I feel to my clients. My book that came out January, Your Last First Date, I talk about 3 clients in particular that really made an impact on me. And they're a good representation of how invested I do get in my clients and wanting successful outcomes for them. So I think I've never compared it to parenting before. Definitely see a lot of parallels. And I think also with your kids, mine, even at 4 years old, teaches me things. And the same thing happens with clients. I think any dating coach that thinks you know everything, you fooling yourself. There's so many times it's a very humbling profession maker where, you think that you know who's going to hit it off with who. And I'm surprised all the time, even 15 years later. And so the same way your kids end up teaching you things as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because that kind of opens up another can of worms when people think that you know all of the answers, right? But also, of course, you're a parent.
I do. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. And I think because of maybe your past history and things like that, of maybe things that you have gone through, but also there's new things that may be coming out that you've never heard before of how people are trying to date other people. And you're not going to tell them, I don't know where that came from, but you might be thinking in your head, okay, all right, let me screenwrite this one. All right, this might be good. All right, I like this. Right. And then, you just have to, it's almost like you have to do your research and say, where did that come from? And being able to I would say just be creative to be able to understand what's going on now in maybe the new dating age or things that you never heard of before. But yeah,
it happens all the time. Truly. I just had my first client who, or first I should say, coaching session with someone who self-identified as S. And I'd heard of BBW, but hadn't heard of SSBBW. And she got to teach me a little bit about that. And so I don't know if that's something I should if I should explain to people listening or not, but it stands for supersized Black beautiful women. And I've coached BBW women, but I had never coached anyone who identified as SSBBW. And so I'm constantly learning, even with my queer clients, there was forever, I was setting up gay men the same way I was setting up of the traditional intake interviews that I was doing. How risque is this show, by the way? Can I get a little edgy for a second?
Sure, of course.
So I was setting for one of my gay clients was is there a reason you're not asking me if I'm a top or a bottom? And I was like, wait, that's okay. That's not going to offend anybody. And he was like, it's really weird if you do not ask that question because you have to know that in order to match us properly. Right. So that was something that I learned many, many years ago, but I'm constantly increasing my knowledge in the dating space and becoming a better coach and matchmaker as a result. And, you can't have an ego in all of this, and you're only going to grow if you're open to learning. So I'm grateful for my clients that are transparent with me.
Yeah. That's that's interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, you know, I figured you get so many things coming at you, right? And when you start talking about personalities, like, have you fell asleep? A fun fact about Jaydi Samuels Kuba. Have you ever fell asleep thinking about that session was crazy? I can't go to sleep. Have you had one of those sessions before?
Oh yeah. I not coaching sessions, because we go so deep in coaching
Sure.
sessions that I have too much respect for what they're going through to be like, oh, that was, to write it off as just some crazy situation. But
Yeah.
with matchmaking, I would say is where some of the the crazier situations pop up. Like I set up a woman one time who the guy had come to me and he said that his mother had mental health issues, and therefore he doesn't ever want to go on a date with a brunette because his mom was brunette.
Oh
And I
wow.
remember being like, oh, okay. Like I took it with a grain of salt, but I set him up with a light brunette and he left her on the date.
Wow.
Kept me up that particular night. I'm always trying to put my clients in environments that are really like safe and welcoming and friendly. And even if they don't hit it off with someone else,
Yeah.
they at least had a good time. And her getting walked out on because she had the same hair color as his mom was not something that maybe I should have listened more when he, said that to me.
We just
But
said doing that in general.
yeah, but there's that was an odd one and never happened again in the 15 years or whatever I've been doing
That's
this. But
good.
yeah, but there's, when something happens to a client that isn't the best, it's like, that's what, even if it's someone, and especially if it's situations outside of my service, because I like to think I
Sure.
create generally pleasant experiences for all my clients,
Yeah.
but they have situations outside of the service where, they'll come to me and tell me what happened. And some of those situations keep me up at night too. And also the big one, I don't know if you saw Materialists over the summer. I don't want to give any spoilers to people listening, but there was a very dark storyline of that movie. And the reason for that dark storyline is a big part of why my business is referral only. And
Mm,
so that before I was a referral only service and I was just taking on anyone interested, that is something that also kept me up at night because I
mm,
was like, what if I don't know enough about this particular man that I just
yep.
set her up on a date with because I met him at a car dealership? Like, what if he goes
Berserk.
answer something? That did
Yeah.
keep me up and inspired my current business model.
Wow. I feel, JD, that you have to be a therapist, a doctor, a protector, and you have to wear so many different titles because when you're dealing with people of customer service, you don't know who you, I'm sure you know who you get when you're getting referrals now. But even before then, I think it kind of taught you in regards to how to deal with different people's personalities, but also being able to help read them over time in order for you to really get to know them, in order for you to be able to say certain things to them that wouldn't trigger them, but
Hmm.
also for you to know if you did trigger them, how would they trigger on a date as well
Right.
too. So I think, by what you're doing, I think it's very important, to protect yourself, of course, right? But also, how do you protect your client that's coming in to actually pay for your services, to get into date? There's so much, there's so much to talk
There's a
about.
lot. I mean, the
So
customer relations
uh,
part is definitely a component and not something I anticipated, a hat that I'd be wearing as a business owner, just because I went
yeah,
into it just with a pure love of wanting people to find love. Um, it's very easy in my line of work to take it personally when someone gets upset
yeah,
about a match or something like that, when all you're doing is trying to help and everything's coming from such a good place. And I've learned over the years to not have walls up and not be defensive. I can always justify why I set two people up. Like there's no one I'm setting up for the sake of it. And I can always sit someone down and explain, well, here was my thought process, even if you didn't agree with it.
Yeah.
To be able to set aside your ego, to be humble enough to say, you know what, this isn't about me. They're in pain about where they're at in their dating journey in general.
Yeah.
And I'm the person in front of them. And I've just learned to approach it more empathy. And realizing that, it's most of the time, 99% of the time, if someone is upset about a match or something, which isn't often, but that it's not me, it's that they've had a lot of bad experiences, and maybe having another rejection or something like that as a reminder that they just haven't found that success yet. And once I've started approaching it from that perspective, I've had a lot more amazing conversations that turn into something very my clients, because we're able to relate to each other in that we're working toward the same goal.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to give you your flowers, man. I got to give you your flowers. It gets more deeper than this, JD, and I'm so happy that you're here on the show with me today, because it's very important for people to be able to hear this, and we're just scratching the surface. There's so many ideas I got in my head right now. There's so many things I want to ask you, but I know we're down to the last few minutes, but we got to go to another quick commercial break. Okay, JD, everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Your boy Rico No Suave. It is JD Samuels. Kuba, baby. Yes. I'll see you guys in less than 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
Feeling sluggish? Struggling with stubborn weight and visceral fat? It's time to reset with Fupa Water. Packed with powerhouse ingredients like spirulina, turmeric, and aloe vera, Fupa Water is your daily detox and hydration boost all in one. Flush out toxins, energize your body, and say goodbye to that stubborn belly fat. Ready to feel lighter and stronger? Get yours today at fupawater.com. And for a limited time, use code RNSS for the Rico No Suave show and get an additional 10% off.
Welcome back. Welcome back. JD, I really don't want to let you go, but I know you got a family. But there's one thing that we do have to talk about, right? Because there's a book that you have, and we want to display this book. Let's put the cover of this book on the screen. Make sure we got that right. Yes, this is Your Last First Date Secrets from a Hollywood Matchmaker. Let's talk about that book. Let's give a quick synopsis of that book itself.
Yeah, definitely. So I think a lot looking at this bright pink cover and the graphics, it can feel very self-help, and there are prescriptive elements, but it's actually a matchmaking memoir. It's more even than just the matchmaking. My own life is infused into it. I talk about conceiving my daughter through IVF with my husband, who, by the way, I set up 5 times with different women over the course of a year and a half that he was working with the company. So that story is in there, but also the focal point of the book is 3 different clients of mine who really had an impact on me, and I hope vice versa. I don't reveal confidentiality, but I share their coaching sessions with me. They arrived at the outcomes they did. I don't want to give spoilers, and they're all very different from each other. But the goal was choosing clients that really affected my life in terms of how people that have clients that represented anyone who could possibly be picking this book up if they're single. I cover such a wide array of issues with each one of them that you're bound to recognize yourself as one of the daters, or somebody maybe that you've dated that has had an impact on you. And so that was really important to me to cover. And I also talk the matchmaking industry itself. For anyone who has any curiosity, I sort of peel back the curtain on an industry that people have heard of but don't really know that much about. And so that was really fun to share some stories from there too. But overall, it's a fun and quick read. And I think the goal for me was, if you are single, by the time you're done reading all the chapters, it will feel like 10 coaching sessions together. So rather than paying me $1,000+ for my time, you pay 28 or whatever your local library or bookstore, or sorry, your bookstore is charging for the hardcover. And you're going to get 10 one-on-one coaching sessions with me. But I've had married people reach out to me, people that are in relationships and not dating at all, just totally off the market, read it and just say, wow, like that was a really interesting look at the matchmaking industry. And I think if you're familiar with the show, He's Just Not That Into You, the book version was very straightforward. Like, he doesn't call me after 3 dates. He's just not that into you. And it's not that into you. But then you see the movie and you're watching all these stories. Like, you don't have to be single to enjoy the movie. My book is like the movie version, where it's just a great read. Hopefully, I don't want to toot my own horn. Hopefully everybody likes the read itself. But my storyteller brain really kicked in doing the narrative approach. And hopefully you just enjoy this, reading the stories. And then if you end up getting something out of it because you are single, then that's sort of the secret sauce.
Nice. And where can they purchase your book?
I mean, anywhere online where you would typically purchase a book, whether it's the Amazons, Walmarts, Barnes and Nobles. I don't want to really truly anywhere because I don't like to tout one distributor over another. But your local independent bookstore, and if it's not there, ask for it. But really, it should be available anywhere you get your books. I also do the audio version, so if you've been able to tolerate my voice for a whole hour so far, then you should enjoy the audiobook.
I think it's okay. It's okay. If they see you on my show, I think they'll be okay with your voice. I think forget about it. I think they'll be okay, JD. There's a big accomplishment in regards to your book. So congratulations on that. How long did it take for you to be able to write the book and get it out there?
So the proposal to actually sell it was a 41-page proposal that I had some help getting shaped, mostly by my agent. Sure. But took about 4 to 6 months. It was during the writer's strike. Okay. So I wasn't writing TV, and I was like, how else can I exercise my creativity? And I was just inspired to come up with a proposal for this book. And then the actual writing of itself, once I sold it, based on and then there was a certain amount of time before turning it in and, getting to see it in bookstores. So all in all, the whole process was about 2 years long.
All right. Man, congratulations on that. Man,
Thank you. I know it takes longer to publish a book than to have a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good. Hey, it's worth the while. When did it come out? When did the book come out?
The end of January.
This year?
Yeah, so very recent.
I'm so glad I caught you in time. That's awesome because it feels like it's fresh. Yeah, it's only a few months away. Well, congratulations on that. That is awesome, man. I do got a question for you because you're in Hollywood. We got to talk about this. You, of course, on a professional side, as far as writing, you work with some celebrities. When it came to matchmaking, though, I don't know if you can disclose this, but are there any celebrities you can tell us about that you're really proud of that you actually helped?
Honestly, any of my clients, celebrity or not, would kill me if I say names. So you could check out success stories on my website for, a little bit of a preview. But yeah, I can't reveal my client list, unfortunately. I wish I could. That would be
cool.
Yeah, as a business owner, that would be great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, at least we know that you did some celebrities. Yes, at least we know that, and even local, the people. Yeah, they're celebrities, those VIPs. If they came and paid you, no matter if it's $10 or not, they still VIPs, baby. That's
honestly, about. There's a greater chance of working. People that have the means to do the luxury matchmaking experience. A lot of those people who are good looking and successful, they don't feel like they want to do that or need to do that. It's more approachable. I think with our model, just because it makes it a lot more disarming and it feels a bit more like a friend setting up a friend. And so when someone's referred to us, I think they know they're in good hands and they don't feel like though we're taking advantage of the fact that they have the means.
Gotcha. All right.
It's
We
not
down.
$10 still.
All right. We got another last segment we got to do. And you know what this is, JD. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Flashback photo. Oh,
I take it
yeah.
back. Wasn't ready.
That flashback photo. How old were you in this picture? And then, go ahead.
I would have been 12.
12. Okay. What would you tell your 12-year-old now that you're a little older, right? In a good way. What would you tell your 12-year-old in regards to their journey? What would you tell them to watch out for?
To watch out for, because I have things I would tell her.
Yeah.
But in terms of what to watch out for, I mean, I would just say you're going to go through some very difficult times.
Yep.
You are going to have your heart broken.
Yeah.
You are going to go from flying on the Concorde to sleeping on a mattress.
Oh.
But it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you are going to have a beautiful family and publish a book, and all your dreams will come true. You just got to hang in there.
Let's go. Let's go. That's the 12-year-old JD right there, and a little bit over 25, JD. What we talking to right now in the present. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. Let's go. JD, I got something for you. You are what we call a gem of the world. I have a shirt for you. This is for you. Now, the reason why I give these shirts out is because people like yourself that we need to give flowers to. And like I said, I've learned more about as far as what you've done in your professional career, as far as writing. Congratulations as far as on that milestone there. But you being creative, but also being able to work with a celebrity, but also work along someone that was humble enough to be able to help you with your career as well too. And you being able to work with other cultures, to being able to find that place to be able to be kind of that. We say as a therapist, you're almost like a doctor. I mean, you're giving advice like a counselor, but you also are matchmaking for love, for people to be able to find love and to be able to make people happy. I think the problem is sometimes that people sometimes don't want to be happy and they don't know how to be happy. But you're that person, you're that good person to be able to help them and be an example of there is love, there is happiness out there for you. So, I'm here to actually say, I know we just scratched the surface. There will be a part 2, but this is why you are a sparkling gem. You are a gem of the world, and this is what you deserve, and this is for you. Welcome to the family, JD. Welcome to the family.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Let's go. All right. We got to put up your social media because we want people to find out how they can get in contact with you as well, too. So we're going to start off with this first. Here's the first social media, Match Made in Hollywood on Instagram, everybody. Make sure you go and follow her. Show her some love there. If you send her a DM, just say you saw her on a Rico No Suave show. Here's the next one. It's X. It's all about X, baby. So make sure you guys go. It's the same thing. Match Made in Hollywood. She's tweeting, right? She's putting it out there. So make sure you actually follow her on there as well, too. Here's the next one. Oh, yeah. It's the TikTok. The TikTok. That's what it's all about, baby. Match Made in Hollywood. There's videos all day, everybody. So make sure you go and show her some love. Make sure you go and show her a lot of love there. Because, TikTok it's crazy. It can get crazy. People got ADHD sometimes, Keep swiping, but stop on hers, all right? And last but not least, we have the website. So make sure you please go to her website, everybody. That's matchmaking. Yeah. Make sure you put that whole thing in there. Make sure you show her some love because that's where you can be able to find more about the testimonials. You'll be able to see, her wear a book if you want to get a book as well, too, and more information about her. JD, Samuels, Kuba, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you.
This was good. We got to do a part 2, right?
Yes, and I will find a better internet.
No, nah, that's okay. That's okay. You all good. It was good. But I want to thank you so much for being on the show, JD, and much more positive vibes for you and much more great things for you and your family. So thank you so much for being on the show with me today, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everybody, put your hands together. JD, Samuel's Kuba. Have a great day. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here. Your boy Rico No Suave. We have to get out of here. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the show. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, but we got to put up our social media, everybody. Our website. Yeah, we got a website too, everybody. So make sure you go ahead and go to www.riconosuaveshow.com. Make sure you go and show us some love there. Here's the next one. The next one is Kaboom, Rico No Suave Show, Facebook. Make sure you like and love everything about us there. Here's the next one. Oh, yeah, it's Rico No Suave Show on Instagram. Make sure you go to Instagram, everybody. Show us some love there. Here's the next one. The next one is all about subscribing. Make sure you subscribe to our show. Ya tu sabes, mi gente, Rico No Suave Show on YouTube. Last but not least, we have Mixcloud. It turns into audio, turns into podcast. So please go to Mixcloud, look for Rico No Suave Show, and make sure you go ahead and drive along and listen to some dating advice from none other than Jaydi Samuels Kuba. Everybody, we got to get out of here. We want to thank you guys so much for showing some love here as far as with us. But until next time, everybody, for another great show as we end off the show just like this.